Hey, Bellas. Welcome back. Been a while, hasn't it? Don't remind me. Since it's been a while, I wanted to preface things with a disclaimer. The next 3 episodes of Figure It Out were actually filmed a while ago, like a year ago. I just never got around to editing them until just now. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but editing friggin' sucks! And I've been dealing with a lot of crap during that time that I just don't want to get into right now or ever. But at least now I have a better idea of what I want to do with this channel. And I have a new computer, which makes everything better. So if you notice a difference with how the videos are being done, or if I look and sound different the next time you see me on camera after these next 3 episodes, or on the gaming videos, it's because I'm about 6 pounds lighter and down a pair of tonsils. But worry not. This is still a positivity channel about talking about and doing things we like. So please continue to enjoy, if, you even do that. Now let's go.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between. You know what one of my favorite parts of being a fan of something is? Headcanon, or even more specifically, fan canon. Why? Because it's fun. That's it. That's the reason. Nothing deep to discuss here. I like pretending things are true about an IP I enjoy while also appreciating what actually happens in it. Because, at least for me, it gets the creative wheels spinning and adds another layer of engagement for me. One reason why I love making fan fiction and drawing fan art. Plug. It's kind of like putting whipped cream on top of your chocolate pudding. Makes things richer, more interesting, and it especially works when you have action figures and you're into playing with those action figures. For example, agender, gender fluid, bisexual, pansexual, trans, and gay. And today's figure is the subject of one of my favorite pieces of Transformers fan canon, and this guy's long-lost partner, Transformers Prime's 10th anniversary deluxe class breakdown. Is he lame or is he awesome? Today, we'll figure it out. Transformers Prime is definitely my favorite Transformers TV show. In addition to having a great cast, animation, action, and music, it's probably the best written Transformers TV show out there. And that's an opinion! And one of my favorite elements of Transformers Prime is how the villains are written. They've all got great designs and personalities. Prime's version of Starscream is definitely my all-time favorite.
I said that aloud, didn't I?
And I got to tell Steve Bloom that myself. Jealous. And Prime has my favorite Decepticon duo of all time, Knockout and Breakdown.
Back for seconds.
Knockout is a vain, snarky scientist, and Breakdown is kind of like your typical lunk-headed muscle, but who isn't a total idiot. Also, the cherry on top is that Knockdown is being played by Darren Norris, who is clearly having a gas playing this character.
I like the way I look in steel-belted radios.
I got to tell him how much I appreciated his performance too. Even more jealous. And Knockout and Breakdown are best friends. Knockout and Breakdown's dynamic is always a blast to watch. And they have a lot of fun scenes together.
Breakdown, in case you're looking for me, things got messy, so I hit the road. One scrape is enough for today.
Darren Norris and Adam Baldwin, of all people, have a great rapport and really play off each other really well whenever they're on screen. They're two peas in a pod, best friends forever, evil Batman and Robin, totally in love. Yeah, I don't normally put in much stock in reading into queer baiting or inserting relationships into stuff that clearly aren't actually there. But these two characters are definitely boning. I'm sorry. This This is a pretty popular and universally accepted fan pairing. I mean, these two are attached at the hip the whole time they're on the show, and spoiler alert, when Breakdown dies, Knockdown shows the most emotion we've seen out of any Decepticon in any media, even in this show. And he relishes taking revenge on Breakdown's murderer, who's a human, so it's okay. Also, Knockout joins the Autobots at the end, which gives me the feeling that he was only really on the Decepticon side because Breakdown was. But that's just a guess. When I was trying to collect Prime figures, I naturally wanted both of these guys so I could RP their relationship. Not for anything weird or anything. Mostly so I could have Knockout call Breakdown his other half to an enemy. And so they could hold hands. And so I could make fan art of them. Unfortunately, I got a hold of Knockout, but never Breakdown. By the time I had any real agency of it, Prime had run its course and all the Prime action figures were off the shelves. I eventually got the Menasor Combiner, and I used the Breakdown from that set as a kind of stand-in for Prime's Breakdown, but it wasn't the same. I did make a picture of those two, though. Fortunately, I finally found him again. And in a 2-pack, no less, with a Viacon. Nice bang for my buck. So now the fantasy is complete. I mean, I've completed the set. Ugh. So let's take a look at Transformers Prime's 10th anniversary breakdown and see how he rates on the awesome scale. God, has it been 10 years since Transformers Prime ended? Jeez. Quick reminder that the awesome scale goes from 1 to 5, with 1 being the worst at lame and 5 being the best at awesome. So here we go. Here we go. Alright, here he is in his vehicle form. Very boxy. Light plastic, but sturdy. Free spinning separate wheels. He honestly looks a little narrower than he did in the show. A little more compact. But I'm pretty sure this is pretty spot on, honestly. Very monochrome, not a lot of colors to it, but it's fine. I mean, he wasn't Knockout, he wasn't very flashy. Rolls well, holds together nicely except for this back part. You can see the tabs sticking out. It doesn't fit in perfectly, so it kind of tilts up a little bit, but honestly it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, this is pretty nice. I imagine that's what it sounds like. Kind of like, you know, a low rumbly thing. It's got a lot of sharp edges. Unfortunately, holding this thing too tightly hurts a little, but it's not a big deal. And uniform, nice and even. This doesn't do anything, this is just for show. So let's transform him. And there we go. That took a lot of fumbling. I didn't look at the instructions and I'd only transformed him a couple of times, but it's fine. Yeah. Looks pretty much exactly like he does in the show. Real blocky, but looking more robotic. Same color scheme. I'm sure there's just pieces that probably wouldn't be sticking out so much if it were the show version. But other than that, it looks pretty spot on to me, quite honestly. Maybe just missing a few details here or there, but otherwise, really nice. He's got some mild ankle articulation. I wouldn't really call it articulation because it's, you know, for the transformation, but you can call it articulation if you want. There's a little discrepancy in how his hip joints fit in because they're supposed to articulate a little bit at the hip, but it's a bit stuck and it keeps popping off, so I'm not going to do that. He's got a hinge, double hinge in knee joint there, and then, like I said, a ball and socket hip joint. Definitely goes further back, probably for transformation purposes, and forward, and again, those pop out kind of easily because of transformation. He's got some mild hinge joint hip articulation, and he's got a hinge joint, a peg joint for his shoulder, and a hinge joint for his elbow. No wrist articulation, so the hands don't move. And then he's got a ball and socket head joint, but because of where his head is situated, he can't really turn his head back and forth, so he can just look up and down, which is okay. It's not a big deal. I don't think he could just turn around. It's not that big of a deal that his head can't turn back and forth. At least there's some head articulation, which is nice. The paint is lacquered on there. Each piece is the paint that is on it, so this isn't going to scratch. It's nice and it's heavier. It feels heavier than it does in vehicle mode, so it's a little more solid than I would have thought. Because he's got nice big feet and heavy plastic in his hinge joints, he's nice and sturdy on the table. So even though you'd think he'd be a bit top heavy, this is all kind of hollow, whereas his hip joints are solid plastic. So he stands up real nice. And for the most part, movement is nice and solid. He's not missing an eye. This is him from the beginning of the show, so he hasn't lost his eye yet, but that's okay. Be nice if there was like maybe an interchangeable head that does have a missing eye. That'd be a nice detail, but not a big deal. Doesn't take off from the ratings at all. So Adam Baldwin plays him. He kind of just does even though the character works, the voice is just kind of generic, like,
Bulkhead, imagine you and I bumping into each other in the middle of nowhere while tracking a stray energon signal.
Alright, Autobot. It's time to take you down. Let's see how you can withstand this! You know, very just tough guy, gruff voice. But it complements Darren Norris's slick, more vain voice, so the two of them complement each other really well and bounce off. A conversation just with Breakdown and Bulkhead might sound a little monotonous, even though, you know, obviously Kevin Michael Richardson plays Bulkhead. He sounds different from Adam Baldwin, but the two of them have a similar range, so Breakdown just sounds angry most of the time. He just sounds angry and annoyed all the time. Ugh, God! You know? So, yeah, pretty solid figure. No complaints here. The only problem is that popping hip joint, but it pops back in place just fine. The transformation is pretty easy, and once you do it a couple times, it's pretty straightforward and not too hard to do. So, yeah. What do I rate Breakdown on the awesome scale? As far as his vehicle mode goes, it's solid enough. It's fine. It does its job perfectly well. There's nothing really too special about it other than it looks like it does in the TV show, which gives it a couple of points, which is pretty good. I wish it held together a little bit better at those pegs, so I'd give the vehicle mode probably a 3 out of 5. You know, it's a great. Yeah, it's a good. Yeah, it's a 3 out of 5 on the awesome scale. Robot mode wise, much better, better quality. This is the feature. This is the part that matters pretty much. Looks like the show, moves really great, solid, holds together well except for popping hip joint. So, for a Transformers Prime style, it says it's Deluxe class, but it's almost the size of a Voyager class, quite honestly. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 on the awesome scale. It's a cool out of awesome. And then overall, same thing. Final rating, 4 out of 5. A cool out of awesome. This is a cool figure. I like it a lot. Glad I finally have it. Glad to see it in my collection. Look forward to using it a lot. So that was the 10th anniversary version of Prime's Breakdown. Was it worth the wait? Yeah. Totally was. It's a really great figure. Was it worth the money for a 2-pack? Absolutely. Definitely. No regrets there at all. Perfect matchup of price to product. Thank you, eBay. Seriously, 10 years I've been waiting for this guy, and it's a solid figure that came in a 2-pack. Absolutely, it was worth the money. My favorite fan pairing is whole, and I can make these guys act all lovey-dovey as I want. And I can redo that fan art piece, finally. This isn't an excuse for not doing it originally. Action figures make really good models. Next time will be another unboxing video, another long-awaited addition to my collection. And this time it'll be an official version of a figure I already have a third-party version of, and a better version of a Japan-only exclusive version of that character that I have. What do you know, the license being better than knockoffs? Yeah, well, stands to reason. Will it be lame, or will it be awesome? Next time, in real time, we'll figure it out. Thank you all for watching today's video. Please contribute in the ongoing fight against the YouTube algorithm by doing the normal supportive things. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you know when more videos are coming out. My question for you today is, what's one of your favorite pieces of fan canon or head canon from one of your favorite IPs? Do you even do that kind of thing? Please comment your answer in the comment section down below. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Ciao, Bellas!